Hello, welcome to A 30-Minute Life. This is my show about how I live with multiple sclerosis and chronic pain. My hope is that my experience will make your experience better of your chronic illness. On August 26, 2017, I wrote a blog post called Living with Pain, the New Normal. And that's what my life is about. It's about pain, and it's a big change from my life prior to a certain event, which I will discuss in this post. Living with pain, the new normal. Living with pain is a huge pain in the neck. It is my new normal. I have had constant pain for the last 3 years as a result of a car crash. It presented itself to me the day after the accident, and it has been my constant companion since then. It has varied in intensity from a 5 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10 on a pain scale. It has also woken up my MS again. This has now caused problems with my leg. The muscles are tight and unresponsive. Okay, this is nothing new for people who live with a chronic illness, and now for me it is nothing new too. But what amazes me is the ability of the human mind to somehow accept this new reality. In the last 3 years, this level of pain has become the new normal. For this to happen, I had to make the conscious decision not to rebel. By the gradual acceptance that this is not something that I can change easily, or without some risk that might be unacceptable, I have managed to relegate this pain to a secondary role in my life. Don't misunderstand this. This situation has had an impact on many areas of my life, and I shared a little bit of that last week. Cognition and concentration are poorer. My day has to take a different course, with meditation or body mapping and journaling an essential part of my day. The ability to work and earn a living like I did is no longer possible. These are all impacts that could lead me into depression, melancholy, and despair. For people with MS, the vast majority, over 50% of MS warriors, have or will have to deal with this. I have skirted these problems, and I have made the firm commitment to focus on the positive, to take all the joy that I can from every day. For example, today in Connemara it is a beautiful day. Sunny, warm, and very little breeze. After the last week of torrential rain, it has been a welcome respite, despite the fact that the sun causes pain in my eyes and that I have difficulty walking. I had a walk around the town, enjoying the fact that I could walk around the town, even slowly. This afternoon, I am getting the chance to sit in the sun with dark sunglasses and a hat. I will benefit from the vitamin D that the sun is creating in my body. This is a joy for me, and I'm grabbing this joy with both hands. I have to, as it might rain for the rest of the year. My point with this post is that I have learned to accept the things that I cannot change, and in my head, this is the new normal. Fortunately, the human mind has this incredible ability to adjust to a different reality. The key, in my opinion, is that we have to dictate to our subconscious mind that we are accepting and not rebelling against. This is not always easy, and I know that I have shed tears over these changes. But that's the point. I shed them, and then I have moved on. I focus now on what I can change and what I have control of in my life. Carpe diem. An interesting post, and it was 3 years ago, and we had nice weather back then, and we've been having pretty good weather here too, though the storms of the last week or so have had an impact across the country. The biggest change is the new normal that I experienced 3 years ago has now become the normal of most people. This pandemic has changed the balance. People without chronic illnesses now have a taste of what it's like to have a condition that confines you. that restricts what you can do. And it's this outside, in this case, the virus is the outside influence that is controlling you. And for me, it's my illnesses. They control me. So this virus had very little impact on my movements, other than I don't go shopping anymore. But I don't know if I've necessarily lost out a lot as a result of that. But the adjustment that you have to make when you lose something that you're accustomed to is very, very difficult. And I think this is the challenge that a lot of people have had with this virus, is the confinement. What's worse in a way is that they know that they're well enough that they could go out, but the threat of their life being put at risk is what keeps them inside the house. However, for me, it is my illness which has kept me inside the house. It is my illness that has stopped me from moving around. However, despite that, I think the human mind is incredibly resilient and flexible if you give yourself a chance. And you don't say, well, I've always done this job. I need to continue to be able to do this job. I think really what work is you have found a set of skills that you can apply to a particular task. And I think the task can be flexible. You don't always have to be, for example, a banker or working in a shop or whatever your task is, doing accounts. Your brain and your body has a skill or an ability to do something. You might just need to change what you are doing. And that's really what I did. I changed. And so my particular skill is I love solving problems, or I like taking on challenges that push me to my limits. So that's what I've done. Instead of being involved with a business, trying to create a new customer base or product or solve a particular issue, what I have done is set up small projects that are within my capacity. So my blog was the first of these, which gave me an outlet. I had to get something done every week. And same with this podcast and this radio show. I have to have something ready every week. And so I have a goal and I have to achieve it. I have to do all the bits and pieces that make it happen. And so that is my challenge. So I'm still using the skills that I had before. I'm just focusing them on something a little bit different. So that really is my big point for this episode, is just because your circumstance changes due to your illness or some other external influence doesn't mean that you cannot perform things or do things. You just need to look at the world in a different way. And that can be challenging. That's not always easy. And I'm fortunate in that I've had a lot of practice at this over the years. I think my job history is quite varied. I've worked in shops. I actually served court summonses in the United States at one period. I sold rock to people and fish to the Spanish. So that's all. You wonder how they're connected. But really what they were was a particular problem that I had to fix or solve or find a solution to and do it. And that's what I'm doing. And it gives me that purpose in my day. So I hope you can find your purpose in your day, despite the fact of whatever restrictions you may have. Look at the things that you're good at. Look at your skills and see if they can be applied in some other direction. And that can give you your purpose. And as I said last week, it can help to boost your vitality, make your life that little bit better. Anyway, thank you for listening. My name is Robert Joyce, and this is a 30-Minute Life. And I'm hoping that my experience of chronic illness for over, let's say, 30 years will help you live your life that little bit better. If you have an opportunity, could you please press the subscribe button? It would help me greatly, and I look forward to meeting you again next week. Goodbye.